YouTube, what up? Welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Watts and Watts. I hope everybody is continuing to prioritize their mental health and their physical health. I'm going to keep on saying this. I'm never not going to say this. I'm going to never stop telling people to prioritize their mental health because, the suicide rate is at an all-time high. We're all going through things. Nobody's perfect. Everybody is going through something, whether it's physical, mental, you name it. So I'm going to keep on telling people and encouraging people to prioritize their mental health, their physical health, get in the gym. And when I say get in the gym, I'm not telling you to fucking jump in the gym and attempt to lift 500 pounds or, get on a cycle or anything like that. I'm telling you to work out, prioritize exercise, whether you're just going on a walk, whether you're going for, a bike ride. On the north side is a little cold, so riding bikes is, I'll leave that to your interpretation. But, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Braun Breaker. I personally think that his name should be Braun Steiner, but we'll talk about that another time. I'm here to talk about Braun Breaker and the fact that it's all Triple H's fault as to why things are going the way they're going for Braun Breaker. He was doing great as an Intercontinental Champion, as a mid-card guy. They could have kept him in the mid-card for a little bit longer. It wouldn't have hurt to keep him in that Intercontinental Championship / tag team / upper card slot for another year. They didn't have to rush this because here's the thing. It's not over for Braun Breaker because he's still relatively young, obviously. And he didn't do too bad in that match against CM Punk. He didn't do too bad. But here's my thing. This is why I was saying what I said. It's either you're going to take that chance and just throw him into the deep water and put that title on that man right then and there, or they could have waited. They could have put the Intercontinental Championship on Braun Breaker and then just have Bronson Reed and Austin Theory or Bronson Reed and Logan Paul be the tag team champions for a little while. They didn't have to rush that. That's why everybody's so mad, because everybody knew that Braun Breaker wasn't ready for the main event. Literally. Because this guy, Triple H, from the very beginning, since he got to the main roster, they was just glazing this man. They was just glazing, just dick eating. And my thing was, you need to pay close attention to NXT. Like, for somebody like Triple H, who got his bones by producing NXT and everybody thinking, maybe Triple H should run the WWE because of how good he's doing NXT. The failure to communicate and the lack of attention to detail is why people don't like Triple H and his booking. Because when you really think about it, everybody knew that Carmelo Hayes was more ready for that spotlight than Braun Breaker. And they still put Braun Breaker in that spotlight instead of Carmelo Hayes. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go into a deep comparison between Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes because it's been done multiple times already. We already know the stick already when it comes to that. I just wanted to point out briefly that when they were both on NXT, Carmelo Hayes was the North American champion and Braun Breaker got propelled to the NXT championship. Do you know how many people needed to help Braun Breaker so that people could give a damn about that championship? When Carmelo Hayes was running around calling himself the A champion, there's a reason why he was calling himself the A champion. I don't got any statistics, but people cared more about what Trick Mello Gang was about to do in the North American Championship division than niggas cared about what Braun Breaker was doing in the NXT Championship division. That's a fact. We can go all the way back to 2022 and we can look at the statistics. I don't have statistics right now, but it's all about eye tests. Everybody already knew this. Already. They needed to bring Dolph Ziggler from Raw down to NXT so people could give a damn about what Braun Breaker had going on in NXT. And I refuse for people to have selective memory and revisionist history. All of that should have told you one thing. And it was time for Braun Breaker to get called up to the main roster. Don't get me wrong. But all of that should have just told them he needs fine-tuning. Give him 2 years. Give him about 2.5 to 3 years before we throw this man into the main event. Let's give him a nice run with the IC title. Let's have him brushing up his ring work. Let's have him brushing up his promo work. Let's have him develop with his character. But they didn't do any of that. And I understand it was circumstantial, and I understand because the injury with Seth Rollins affected what was going to happen later down the line. I understand that. But there were more people that was willing to take that opportunity and more people that was ready to jump into that role than Braun Breaker. And I can honestly name them. Austin Theory comes to mind. We already know that Austin Theory was like a 2-time United States champion, already beat John Cena. All he really needed was just the opportunity. The opportunity. If you was going to put the title on anybody, if you was going to put the title on CM Punk, fine, whatever. You could have done that. You could have put the title on LA Knight. That could have been done. But Triple H hates LA Knight. But they could have put the title on LA Knight and had an Austin Theory feud with him for that title. Hell, they even could have put the title back on Rey Mysterio. I think he was injured around that time and he just came back. So, all right, I understand that. They could have put the title on AJ Styles. They could have put the title on a couple of other people. They could have put the title on people about to kick my back in about this, but I don't give a damn. They could have put the title on fucking Kofi Kingston. The world title. They could have put the world heavyweight title on. There was so many other people that could have taken that role at that moment, and it would have been a plethora of challengers until Seth Rollins got back, or until they had a credible opponent to face whoever was the world champion at WrestleMania. They did not have to rush. They could have even pulled somebody from SmackDown to be on Monday Night Raw, because Raw has been struggling. SmackDown has been struggling too, because Cody Rhodes don't have any challengers for real. And this 2 out of 3 Falls match, I have a weird feeling that Drew McIntyre is going to lose. And then who else do we got? We're going to go another 2 months until WrestleMania season, until we see Cody Rhodes defend the championship against anybody? I don't know, man. I just feel like they rushed Braun Breaker. And like I said, he'll be fine. But this right here, this hurts his momentum. Unless the plan is to turn Braun Breaker face, and they do like a super swerve. You heard this shit here first. You heard this from Wrestling with Watts. So don't get it twisted. If they do a huge swerve where CM Punk turns heel and he becomes the leader of the division and they kick Braun Breaker out, and now you got a nice little storyline where Braun Breaker has to persevere. He has to win the Royal Rumble to get to CM Punk. And now you got a nice little storyline, if that's the route that they want to go. Because in no part of this story, it made sense for Braun Breaker to lose clean. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't care what nobody says. It makes no sense. If that's the direction that they're going, whatever. I'll let Hunter Hearst Helmsley cook, even though he can't fucking cook. This guy can't cook ice. Every single storyline that we've seen from Triple H thus far has been raw shit. And y'all know it. But yo, listen, man, I don't know. That's just my TED Talk right here. I personally think that they rushed this. And Seth Rollins getting injured is no excuse. You got a lot of other seasoned vets that could have taken that role and been the world champion. They could have really just given that title to LA Knight just to see what happens. I'm pretty sure business would have been booming. I'm pretty sure asses would have been in seats. It would have been a swerve, especially given the fact that we know that Triple H don't fuck with LA Knight. But that didn't happen. But yo, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. I got content on top of content, ideas on top of ideas. This is going to be the year, y'all. This is going to be the year. Yo, everybody who has subscribed, I appreciate it. Those who watch the video and is new here, if you stay, I appreciate it. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.